Have you ever wondered why cities in the Global South grow?
How refugees navigate through European borderlands? I'm researching how migrants who move through Greece to Europe form their imaginaries about Europe, how those imaginaries emerge and how they change throughout the way, and how the European migration policies and borders are on impact on those changing imaginaries. I've worked in Greece on Samos for 1 year, and there I met a lot of migrants who who migrate further, so who had different destination countries in Western European countries. And I always wondered, I had a lot of conversations with them about where they wanted to go and why, but I always wondered how those ideas emerge, basically. So that's why I chose to do this master's here in Nijmegen, because I felt that this was the opportunity to delve into this topic and to do my master research about it. There are a lot of refugees and migrants worldwide. And the thing is that services, goods and money, among other things, can move easily across borders, but people cannot. Globally, everything is more in contact with each other now. But the main thing that is restricted for moving are people. That's why. What I noticed is that I really like that the master's is quite small. So there's not a lot of students, especially in the migration, globalization and development track, which makes that there's a lot of contact with the teachers. I've always felt that it was very easy to reach out to the teachers and to the professors, and that they responded really quickly, that you can kind of get to know them. It's very friendly. I also felt that there's a lot of different thesis supervisors, so they all have their own specialty. So whatever topic I wanted to choose for my research, I felt that there was always someone that could guide me in that, which I really liked.
Have you ever wondered why cities in the Global South grow? The specialization, globalization, migration and development is, as you may have guessed, about globalization, about migration and about development. And what we try to do is to bring those three concepts together and understand how they relate to each other. Well, first of all, globalization. Globalization is, of course, about the intensification of relationships. It's about understanding how the local and the global react and interrelate to each other. The second element, migration, is about the movement of humans usually, but it could also be about material and other kinds of immaterial movements. So for instance, look at goods that move around the world. This is also part of the flow of different things, different aspects that sort of influence the way we conduct our lives. The third element is development, and development is very much a contested concept, because the question is who decides what development is and who development is for. But the way we understand it is to link it up to globalization and migration and ask ourselves the question, in what ways is society influenced in the way it develops, and what are the elements of influence in this particular relationship? So take an example. When we look at how cities grow in the Global South, one of the elements that really comes forward is the changing nature of that relationship. So for instance, cities may grow in an organic way, and what we see on the peripheries, in the peripheries of these cities, is a particular cumulative effect in which things change, and things may change in a slow way. So you may see that certain houses get built, you may see certain changes taking place, land is converted from agricultural uses to urban uses, but that brings about all sorts of other changes. And the question is, who profits, who loses? We try to look in this specialization in a critical way at these kinds of relationships and these kinds of developments and better understand them, and to do so, of course, with the people that we study, so not only from a distant perspective, but also together with practitioners, with local respondents, with local people, but also to do so from a scientific endeavor of better understanding the world that we focus on. It also includes going into the field to actually study this thing. This is not only happening through your thesis, but also before that in the various courses we also try and engage with the field by inviting people from the field or by going into the field.
how the tomato moves from the field to your plate. My master's thesis is about labor migration, and specifically labor migration in a very extended greenhouse area in the south of Spain. And it actually is about how agricultural objects, or the tomato in specific, moves from this region to the supermarkets. Where we as consumers can buy the product. And I specifically looked at what labor is involved and what people are involved on this production line, and in what segments are they employed. Due to the globalized nature and industrialization, this system has become completely global. So the supermarket is like a place where food from all over the world comes together, and understanding how these macrostructures affect individuals and how individuals relate to these macrostructures, I think it's really substantial also for future improvements, but also to understand global relations of wealth and where they come from. I heard about this area, and I lived nearby in Granada back then, so I cycled through it, and I was really amazed by what kind of place is this, because it's like a full sea of plastic. So I was in the first place intrigued by the place, and it really triggered my curiosity about what is happening here, and where are the people, and where do they come from. And so from this curiosity, I started delving into this subject. Yeah, I really liked also the smaller scale group work we had to do. So in many courses you work together with people who are interested in exactly, or not exactly, but in the same subjects, which allows you as a student to really dive deeper into it and have interesting discussions, learn from each other as well. So this connection with other students with the same interest, it's really an addition to this education, to studying here.